So a massive good evening to those that have just joined us, and also to those that are watching back on replay. So if you are live, do not worry. I can't see you. You guys can see me and also the screen. If you could just let me double check, if you could just let me know that you can definitely see the slide. You've got the habits of happiness and success, and there's a very stretched, long picture of myself jumping, the 7-foot version of myself. If you could just let me know that you can see the slide, but not me. That's fine. Don't worry then. Let me just see if I can. Spotlight video, will that change it? I don't know if you'll be able to see me now. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You don't need to be able to see my face. So I just want to start by saying, if you have been a part of the past 5 days, Habits of Happiness, fab, the Habits of Happiness Challenge, freaking well done. Wow, wow, wow. Did we have some incredible breakthroughs? We had some real vulnerable posts and shares and light bulb moments and lots of fun as well. I had some really cool messages from people along the way. And what we're going to have a little look at tonight is a quick recap over those. And if you've got any questions, you can save them at the end, or feel free to ask along the way, and then I can go back through the chat box. We're also going to be having a look at how to form habits. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of myth busting. Definitely one of my favorite things to do, because in this day and age, we are fed, pardon my French, but so much bullshit that actually, I think once we know the truth, and like, I'm an absolute nerd and geek, and I'll hold my hands up in that. I want to know the science behind things. I want to know, okay, what, like the research, what are the statistics of this? So I'm going to be sharing a little bit more around the real way that we form habits, not just what the gurus tell us. I'm going to share some bonus habit hacks with yourself. Some of the next steps, I'm going to be sharing the Route 66 program that's coming up very soon, and also a Q&A. And one of you guys is going to be going home, yeah, because you're here with us. One of you guys is going to be getting the Woman I'm Becoming book posted to you next week for joining live, which is super, super exciting. So let's have a little look over what we have covered the last 5 days. So the Monday to Friday of this week, 5 ways to transform your mindset. So what we did on Monday was have a look at the power of meditation. So I did send out a free 5-minute guided meditation. If you haven't had it, then you can actually go onto YouTube. So I've made this live on YouTube now so that all of you guys can access it, not just those that had the email last week. Because I thought if anyone's watching this back and you weren't a part of it, that won't be fair. So if you want to, you can have a look on YouTube for Today is a Great Day guided meditation, and then just pop my name in as well and it should come up. And the reason that I am so blinking passionate about starting your day, in particular with a meditation, just for 5 minutes, is because it helps to alter the brain waves in which you wake up in. The longer that we can prolong our brain waves as we wake up, so we then are in a nice alpha state, then that is going to enhance our focus. It's going to enhance our creativity. It's basically the gateway to the subconscious mind. So meditation in the morning, fantastic, as little as 5 minutes, anytime throughout the day as well. Or instead, if you feel that maybe you're in a bit of a funk, you want to give yourself that shift. I know today, myself, I've been like, man, I need to meditate. Sundays are meant to be like days of rest and all of that, aren't they? But with the phone and this and that, I took myself away, came upstairs for 5 minutes, headphones in, breathed through it. Wow, I went downstairs like a different woman. And it totally works. If you know, you know. If you don't know, try it. The next is gratitude is medicine for the mind. So practicing your daily gratitude. What I shared with you was the 3-2-1 rule. 3 things that you're grateful for, 2 people that you're grateful for, and 1 thing you're grateful for ahead of time. And what this helps you to do, the last one, the one where you're doing it ahead of time, this actually helps to activate the reticular activating system, which we're going to come on to very soon. And that actually helps basically what we know it to be as law of attraction. Because once you are feeling that gratitude ahead of time, it shifts your vibration. It also helps your mind to believe that it's already there. It's already a part of your life. It's already either on its way or it's a part of who you are. Therefore, the mind will go out of its way to attract that and seek that thing for you. Also, again, gratitude helps to level out your energy and your vibration, helps to raise it up, strengthening resilience as well. So taking time out to recharge, I'm probably going to say, I reckon that this could have been everyone's favorite one because, we had lots of people going out for lunch with their mums. We had taken half an hour out to go to Costa with a book. There was running a bath. There was just taking some downtime, going on walks, going to the gym. Loads and loads of fantastic things to take time out. And as great as it was this week, I don't want this to just be maybe something that you've just done because it was part of a challenge. This is the thing why it's the habits of happiness. Put it in your diary. Like, put that recharge, literally just put it in your diary. Just call it recharge time. You haven't always got to decide ahead of it what you're going to do, but block that time out. If you can do half an hour a day, do half an hour a day. If that feels like a little bit of a stretch and it's making you a bit like, oh God, I wish I had half an hour a day, start half an hour twice a week, once a week if you need to, and then begin to build that up. I tell you what, the way that it impacts your focus, your productivity, like that is a massive thing for helping to let go and release procrastination as well, because your mind is actually having time to filter and align what's going on in it. It's not like a ping pong machine where everything's just 100 miles an hour in there. Actually gives you time for it. It's like those snow globes, gives it time for the dust to settle. Let's go. And if we were to add up all the time that we spend jumping from one task to the next, can I get a yes if anyone agrees with this? When we jump from one task to the next, the phone rings, we're going downstairs, we're putting the kettle on, we're coming back upstairs. By the time we have done those things, like we could have easily have had 20 minutes, half an hour to ourselves. And they say, research now shows that it takes an average of 17 minutes once our focus has been taken to bring our focus back to a task. So every time our phone goes off, every time we have a phone call or we jump onto the web browser and go on, I don't know, Etsy or Facebook or something, like that is going to take a minimum or an average, of 17 minutes for us to regain our focus. So when you have that half an hour out, that might be to scroll through Pinterest. That might be a set time for you to have some time out. Bam, it will then allow you to go straight back to the focus task. So we're getting some yeses. Yes, totally. Next, empowering warrior keepsake. So I'm hoping that all of you have written out the answer to the questions. You're keeping it in your purse. If you're sat there and you're watching this back on replay saying, I have no idea what a warrior keepsake is, write a positive and empowering statement to yourself and keep it in your purse or your wallet. That's it. That's as much, if I was to sort of summarize what we did, something that if you are having a tough day, you can open and read, something that could give you some extra energy or focus in the morning, that thing of empowerment to know that you've got that on you at any time. If your head goes, you're having a wobble, you can pull that out and read it. It's in your handwriting. That is a message to yourself from that warrior self. And lastly, possibly the most powerful one, your past is your warrior superpower. So one habit that we have as human beings is looking back in the past. This is actually built in neurologically. It's a part of our memory storing system, but we naturally look back and refer to emotions, words, scenarios, and that begins to form habits and actually affect who we are and how we are in today, like our everyday life. And our thoughts are habitual. So they say around 80% of our everyday thoughts are habitual. And if we are hanging on to those beliefs, to the past, being a victim to our circumstances. And I don't mean that in a derogative or a negative kind of way. That is literally how it holds us. That's how it feels. And we go along in life, and we had some incredibly powerful posts. I'm sure you guys that are on now, we know, don't we? And so much, I just honor every single person who did that. But when we can then begin to look back and actually look back with a different perception. So we're not looking back and going, oh my God, why did I make that decision? Oh my God, why did that happen to me? I should have done this. I could have done that. What could I have done differently? Instead, we're looking back and going, holy shit, look what I went through. Wow, look how strong I am because of that. I got back up when I felt like there was no way out, financially, spiritually, health-wise, relationships, career. I am here to tell the story. And I learned this about myself. I feel like this now. I am strong because of this. Can you see how we're looking back in the exact same place? We're going back to that like filing cabinet in the mind. Only what we're actually doing this time is we are looking back for the positives, for the empowering parts. And that in itself is a habit. So say, for instance, something doesn't go quite well, I don't know, in your relationship, in your business, let's say. And like in the present moment, we want to just scream and shout about it and go and get underneath the covers. But instead, imagine having that resilient mindset that naturally has formed a habit where you don't look back and regret and fear and shame and guilt. We actually look back and go, bloody hell. Okay, so I've learned this. Let's keep moving forward. Can you see how that is a huge, huge habit for success and happiness? So we did that on Friday. And I have to say, like, that has just been absolutely incredible. So a massive, massive well done to everyone that has been a part of that. Even if you just did 1 out of the 5, give yourselves a massive pat on the back. So well done, guys. Next up, I'm going to be sharing, sorry, I always end up laughing at the pictures of myself, like, oh God. So next we're going to be looking at the mindset hacks for success. What are they? So I'm going to be sharing some juicy ones with you. And you might already be like, yeah, I've kind of heard of this before. But it's like reading a book. You can read personal development books until they literally are coming out of your ears. But are you implementing it? Are you forming the habits of happiness and success? This is the thing. We know this stuff, but there's a whole other thing of actually implementing it. So I'm literally sharing with you like my secret sources that have, in the past, I'll quickly share in case some of you are listening that maybe don't know my background. But 3 years ago now, I had, I was going through therapy myself. I was going through this huge, huge transition in my life. And I'd been to go and see a life coach who, long story short, gave me the simple CBT technique. And from that, I thought of this business idea and took it from complete imagination, creative, innovative solution to changing your thought process, all the way through to implementing it in schools, in businesses, and it went on to be really successful. And I actually sold my shares of the company last year, took a step away, which at the time was the single scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life. It like broke a part of me at the time. And it was also partly to do with like a relationship in the business, and which now again, I'm so grateful for. Back then I was close to a breakdown. But because of that, and because of actually moving through that, I can now look back and see all of the positives from it. But along that way, and I'm now building a brand new company, etc., as like you guys know. But one of the key things that took it from a concept, just something that wasn't real, it wasn't on the market, to actually being a real thing, was what you can see in front of you there: visualization. Visualize. I visualized the success of that company. I visualized the person I needed to become in order to be taken seriously. I visualized what school we would be going into, what companies would take us seriously, what sports stars would be wearing them, so on and so forth. And that, oh, if there's anyone who has just unmuted themselves, if you could just have a little mute. Let's have a look. Sorry, guys, one sec. Oh, very strange. There we are. So, so visualization for your habits of success and happiness. This is a huge, huge part of it. Whether one of the habits which you want to have is maybe weight loss or health, going to the gym more, not necessarily weight loss, it might be weight gain, going to the gym more, taking your business to the next level. It might be having a greater relationship with your spouse or your children. Might be creating something brand new, like whatever that is. The habit of visualizing this, taking just, again, 5 minutes in a morning or throughout the day to visualize that success happening. And that naturally brings us onto the RAS. You'll hear me talk about this a lot, man. But once we start to visualize, as lots of you may know, our mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what isn't. So every time we visualize, we are actually creating, I don't know if anyone's ever seen any videos, if you follow Dr. Joe Dispenza, any of his work, I've done some training with him, and it literally shows the neural connections going along, and it goes. And every time we then, the next day, we're visualizing it again. This time they're a little stronger. The next day, they're like this, and then before you know it, they're like that. And it literally is creating new synapses. And that then becomes a part of our natural thought patterns. When we're practicing this, that reticular activating system, like I've always shared, it's like a heat-seeking missile. It will go and find what you're looking for. The best way that I could probably describe it is like Google. There are hundreds of millions of thousands of things that we could Google, isn't there? But when we type in a specific thing in Google, it brings up just what we want. It brings up a couple of different options, doesn't it? That's how the RAS works, and it's just going on behind the scene. Only most people visualize their business failing. Most people visualize their partner cheating. Most people visualize they can't afford the bills at the end of the month. They can't stop eating. They're going to be the size of a house at Christmas. Like, we hear these things of what people don't want. So where's their energy going? On what they don't want. What's their RAS going to naturally, it doesn't know the difference between what's good, what isn't. It will go after, and it will highlight and bring into your life more of what you're thinking and bringing about. That is why I am so ultimately passionate about the mindset for success and happiness, beyond just reading some self-help books and actually looking at it from a neurological point of view. Next step, faith it till you make it. I know I'm just sort of thinking who was at the event. Vanessa, you've already heard me say this. So faith it till you make it. Like, walk in those shoes. Practice. Like literally practice. If you want to be known for a certain thing, practice what that feels like. Speak like that person. If you want to feel a certain way in your body, pretend for a moment how you would run up the stairs if you had X amount of energy. And I promise you, by the time you get up to the top of the stairs, the mind will be like, what just happened? If you want to be a certain level in your business, or like, can we see how that whole faith it till you make it? We don't want to fake it. We want to have faith. And that in itself is a massive habit to have. So can we see a lot of these habits are actually perception? It's choosing to think differently. It's choosing to create these new thoughts. And I promise, over time, with guidance, with support, like yourself, with myself, with a team, like whatever works best for you, you can do this. And one little last thing, and this is something that I've always done, but this is one that I've not actually really shared like in this way. But if you, has anyone, so Chris is saying, love the RAS. I love this saying. Yeah, absolutely. Lisa, hi love, don't worry at all. So has anyone read Think and Grow Rich? If so, then you will no doubt recognize the chief aim. But something that I highly recommend doing before you start your day, so I mean like before the chaos starts and we're rolling with how everything is. Yes, this is like a whole other structured thing. I can't talk about this now, but obviously writing down your intentions, your goals for the day ahead, your to-do list, to-do list, whatever you want to call it, but actually set a particular intention and call this your chief aim. So I've been doing this now for, when did I read the book again? About 3 months ago. And I've just been sort of practicing, okay, so my chief aim for today, I think it's the whole warrior chief thing, I love this, is my chief aim for today is to get this piece of work completed. Or my chief aim today is to feel so confident. My chief aim today is to be a light. My chief aim today, and maybe this is what I do, I write it on a board. And it's written there, like, my chief aim for today is, and then you can change it every single day. Is it to bring more abundance? Is it to be focused? Is it to finish a particular task? Is it to make a particular call? You can do anything. And a great thing to do is before you go to sleep, my chief aim is to feel relaxed, to, again, welcome more abundance, to release what isn't serving me, to be grateful. So you can do this in the morning and at night or anytime. But same with the reticular activating system with that RAS, we're basically training that. When we're setting our chief aim, like, that's going to be homing in on that. Does this make sense? Can I get a big hell yes if this is making sense? So these are like my mindset hacks for success. This is like when I'm working with clients in particular one-to-one, once we've got through all of the unearthing and the rewiring and letting go and timeline and all of that lot, this is what we then begin to build the solid foundations for the mindset on. Creating, what does that future look like, feel like? And you guys can, well, I'm giving it you, like, it should be available for everyone. Awesome. So one thing that I think is one of the most powerful things to really, really take on board is you get to choose the direction of your life. And even just knowing this and forming this as a habit of a belief that you get to choose the direction of your life and make this a habit to remind yourself. We are never, ever at the mercy of life. We get to choose, like, life isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. We get to choose which way we sail our ship. Like, we always get to choose which direction we choose to go. And every day is a chance to change your life. I love that, by Hillary Clinton. Legend. So what does it take? So we're going to I'm going to take you now on to the next part where I am going to be sharing with you. I know we've got a couple on now. Those of you that have been down Route 66, the Success and Happiness Mindset Program. But what does that take? It takes a decision. It takes you to decide. And you have to, I'm going to say, be committed, 10 out of 10. If you honestly want results, you haven't got to know what you're going to do, but you have to make that commitment that you're going to do it. That is enough. I promise you, the rest just comes with it. So here we go. I'm going to do a Mythbuster for those of you that are watching it back that maybe don't know this. We get sold by all the gurus, by the self-help books, that it takes 21 days to form a habit. No, it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit. And this is modern research by Caroline Lally at the University of London. Lots and lots of new research has recently been released around this, and it takes an average of 66 days. So what does this mean? It's bloody brilliant. This means that we actually have an idea of how long to stick to something. It takes an average of 21 days to form a pattern, but a pattern is not strong enough for it to stick as a subconscious habit. So if we were to see this is what I'm going to share with you. This is what gave me the idea for the 66-day program, because I was like, holy crap, I get it. It does take longer than 30 days, 21 days. 9 days. I've seen a program recently, form a habit, do this, success in 9 days. What? we get motivated, we feel good, but I want you guys to have real life change and results. Like it takes longer than that. And this is what it is all about, because we want to see lasting change and results. So the Route 66 program is you get 8 private group coaching sessions, weekly live Zoom teaching sessions with a new weekly topic every week. Everything from, I think I come onto the next slide, but everything from the neuroscience behind happiness and success, values, discovering your values, beliefs, letting go of beliefs, all the way through to morning and evening habits and rituals. We've also got habits of health and how to release and produce serotonin, dopamine, recipes. We use CBT, NLP to create the structure for the habits of happiness and success. Guided visualization and meditation recordings, and also access to a private 24/7 support group. So it's all about the results. I know I've just been saying that as well. I'm like so drilled in. But what do you get to do with forming the daily habits of success and happiness? Supercharge your confidence. I personally believe that, like, if you go to the doctors, for instance, and I've been there myself when I went to the doctors and I was like, I think I'm depressed. And had that doctor have given me antidepressants that day, as I kind of went for, like, I was like, I have a lost end here. I have no idea why I'm feeling like this, what I can do to change it. What most people do when they're in that position is they get given something that is just going to basically like alleviate the symptom of. But what is that going to do long term? Like, yes, don't get me wrong. I always say, like, you have to consult your doctor. I am not a doctor. Like, please continue as you are. But I personally believe where the power lies and where the confidence lies is when you actually understand why we feel how we feel, why we feel how we do, why we do what we do. And from there, that gives us the power of choice. We actually can then begin to look into different ways to change things rather than, here's something, take this now, off you pop, come back in 6 months kind of thing. Like, why do we form habits? Why can we find ourselves in struggling with anxiety? Is that something that we can change? If so, how? And I find that the biggest change in transformation is when people become empowered. The biggest supercharge of confidence is when people know why they feel how they are and what's going on up here. We're not like as if it's some kept secret and no, you have to be this big clever person to learn this. No, I've learned it. If I can learn it, I can absolutely teach you guys to learn it. And then also crystal clear on your values. Once we begin to align your values to your everyday life, whether that's your career, your health, your business, your relationship, etc., you know where the sticking points are. Like, this is one of the most fundamental things in your life which you can do is align to your values. But first, we've got to know what they are. Greater self-belief, a more resilient mindset, and also I call it like the warrior mindset toolkit. So that is what you will be getting. So your Highway to Happiness program is the 8 weeks of intensive transformational coaching and fun. Like, we do have good fun. We've just finished our last one and it was bloody awesome and great fun. And actually the cost of coaching alone for those 8 weeks is £750. And register. So this is the thing, like, I want to be able to share this with as many people as possible and make it as affordable as possible as a group. And I'm always really, really open. Like, you guys know, if I'm honest, this shit just doesn't always sit right with me. But I have to be able to share with you the power of it, how you can be a part of it, and why. So that's what this is what the program's all about. Is I want to make it be able to reach a broader audience so we can actually come together with this and it be affordable for everyone. So if you register before the 1st of August, it's just £175 for the entire 8 weeks. Or you can either do £90 over 2 months. So £90 for 1 month and then the following month. And the program is starting on Monday, the 5th of August and finishing on the 1st of October. And just so that you guys know, for those of you who haven't done it, the webinars are every Tuesday evening and they are always recorded so you can watch them back on replay. You get a workbook every single week emailed to you so you can print that out, work your way through it alongside me on the webinar. And any questions, then those of you who have done this will know, like, there's no question that you can't ask. This is all about helping you to know yourself better, discover who you are, learn how to create new lifestyle habits that are positive for you. And then at the end of the program, that's where you go off and form your new habit. And we know it takes an average of 66 days. So what are your next steps? So I'm going to recommend that you keep practicing your habits, the ones that we've just been over the past 5 days. So we've got the meditation, we've got the practicing. If you are going to look back, make it empowering, gratitude, all the stuff that we went over in the beginning. Apply the new success mindset hacks. So the ones that I shared with you before, visualization, the faithing it till you make it, the practicing of getting to know and training your reticular activating system, and also your chief aim for the day. And I'm also going to open it up. If any of you guys are watching and thinking, do you know what? This Route 66 thing, it sounds great. I just want to make sure that it's maybe something for me. I've got a couple of questions. I'm going to invite you to book in for a free 20-minute consultation call with myself. You can share with me anything, how you're feeling, what's going on in your life at the moment, and then we can have a look, because I want to make sure that the course is something that is 100% right for you, and for you to make sure that I'm the person to take you through that journey and transformation. So, and then of course, if there's anyone going, oh my God, like, I just need to be a part of it, like right now, drop me a message and then we can get you signed up. So we are starting next Monday. So we're going to be starting on the 5th. The first live is on the 6th. So the 5th, you'll be added to the Facebook group, the private Facebook group. You'll get your email, you'll get your workbook, you'll get the link for the Zoom call ready to start on the Tuesday. So what I wanted to ask now is, so Shona will get booked in for a call. Of course we can, my darling. I'm going to drop you a little Facebook message after, actually. So Lisa's saying it's an awesome program. Yes, it was so cool. I think you and Chris are actually doing it again. What we've actually found is most of the people who did the previous course are actually redoing it again so that they can take it all in again. They can form a new habit, so which is really, really cool. So years of this happening to me till the year when through you I've started to learn why, the neuroscience and how to take action. It was brilliant. Totally recommend it. Oh, Chris, that is so cool to hear. And yeah, this is the thing. I think that we need to know more about ourselves. Self-awareness is absolute key. So I'm going to open it up now for any questions. So those of you that are on, Shona, I know you've already booked, you're going to be booking in for your 20-minute call. If you are watching this back on replay, please drop me a private message on Facebook. And then I'll send you over a link and then we can get you booked in for a call this week. It'll be lovely to speak to you anyway. And yeah, if you guys have got any questions at all, this is your chance to ask. And then one of you guys as well, I'm going to have to do it after, just because I've got to put names in a hat and I'll do a little draw, is going to be winning a signed copy of the Woman I'm Becoming book. So a signed copy for one of you guys that have joined us live. So I will be doing that draw either later tonight or tomorrow. Can we have something to share with the others regarding the course? Yes, I have got a link that I can share with you. Thank you so much. So, okay, I don't think we have actually got any questions, but if you have, and it comes to you like, damn it, I wish I asked this, please, please, please pop over to the Awaken the Warrior Within group, post it in the group, because then that way I'm not just answering it directly to one person. We've got an opportunity for other people to see it as well. So I will love you and leave you there. I just want to say a massive, massive thank you for joining us. And I look forward, I'll probably jump over and actually do a quick live now to do the winner. But I'm going to say thank you. I look forward to catching up with you very, very soon, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for joining, guys. See you soon.